Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Masato Hall. I'm half Japanese, half American. I grew up in Japan until I was 15. I attended high school in the USA. And then now I study in National Taiwan University, a freshman student as a philosophy major. So, I attended CGY starting the fall of 2022 and continued throughout 2023. And I'd like to share you my experiences and what I think about CGY. So, first, I have 4 things that really helped me, that CGY really helped me throughout the whole year. So, the first thing is the synergy between language learning and cultural learning. So, I think as you have seen in the previous slides, CGY really does a good job in embedding cultural learning in the context of language learning. And I mean, language learning and cultural learning, they come together. That's kind of a cliche, but it's very much true. And you can't get much of the culture part in your home country. So if you really want a experience of being in the Chinese culture, CGY definitely is the way to go. So that was one surprise for me because I was only going for the language at the start when I applied. I just wanted to get my language level high enough to attend college, but I was pretty much amazed by how cultural things got, and that was really nice. So next, what helped me throughout the year? Textbooks, learning materials, and the teachers. So first of all, the teachers, they have a very they have a very strong academic background. They know a lot about education. They really know a lot about the Chinese language, and when you're taking their classes, you're just always amazed by how much they know about things, the amount of knowledge, and that was always shocking to me. And then the textbooks. You might think, what's so special about textbooks? But the thing is, first you start with elementary material, daily conversation, and then you kind of start moving up to advanced materials. And then at one point, you start learning classical Chinese, and that's very special about CGY. You might think, classical Chinese, well, I learned that, sounds a bit boring. But, and I wouldn't learn classical English. But classical Chinese, it turns out that it's very, very essential to understanding the Chinese cultural spirit, and also even understanding daily conversation, because everyone in Taiwan or China, they learn a lot of Chinese, classical Chinese, throughout their education, and they reference a lot of works of literature, and so it's very, very useful to know. And it's a very enriching experience. And I had the opportunity to learn a lot of classical Chinese. And at the end, right now I'm in college, I'm reading a lot of philosophy, and I have to read a lot of classical Chinese throughout my courses. If I didn't have CGY, I probably would have failed all my courses. So I'm very, very grateful about that. So that's second point, the learning materials. And then there is the social aspect of CGY. So basically, when you get to CGY, you're with a group of people. You live in the same dorm. You go to the same school, and after school, you go explore Taiwan with them. You might go eat out with them, and it's very, very. There's a very tight community that you're together with, and since you're so far away from your home country, you might get homesick, but with all these friends around you, it's kind of very comforting. And you get to cultivate really deep friendships because you just spend a lot of time with them. When you're in high school or college, it might be a bit hard to have very long-lasting friendships because of the time you interact with them. Everything's kind of moving around. But when you're here, you're with this group of friends, you get to know them really well, and that was an unexpected aspect of CGY that I got a lot out of. So yeah, I still keep in touch with some of my friends to this day, and that's really nice. So the fourth thing that helped me throughout CGY is the balance between structure and freedom. So as Li Lao just said before, it is a very intensive language learning process, but at the same time there's enough freedom. You get a lot of vacations, you get a lot of opportunities to go explore. There's enough structure and there's enough freedom that you don't feel really strangled, but at the same time there's enough structure so that you won't kind of wander off into just doing whatever you want. So there's a very nice balance there. So I just felt like I felt free enough to want to continue this rigorous process of language learning, which is very, very nice. Yeah, so those are the things that really helped me throughout CGY. But I guess the main question for you is CGY for you? And I want to talk about that a little bit. And so I want to talk about two things, which is first is the workload, and then second is, I guess, breaking out of the foreigner bubble. So workload, as I've said repeatedly, it is a intensive course. So, and you might have to study like 7 to 8 hours of Chinese a day. That's quite a bit of Chinese. So, I mean, if you're very interested in the language and culture, it's definitely the way to go. But if you're a little bit uncertain about whether you can handle the workload, that might be something to consider, because you're gonna have to make an effort to keep up, and you'll get a lot out of it. You'll have a lot of you'll really grow fast, but it's still a lot of work. So I just want to mention that. And then the second point, breaking out of the foreigner bubble. So what does that really mean? So this is something I experienced in CGY, which is that you have a very tight, close group of friends, and that's very, very nice. It's very, as I said, it's a very nice experience. But at the same time, the issue is that you get very comfortable to the point where you interact with teachers in the school, and once you're outside of the school, you interact with your friends, and then that just creates a sort of this CGY bubble, I guess. And if you really want to interact with the local population, you'll have to step out of this cycle. And CGY helped me to a certain extent when this happened. They realized the phenomenon as well, and they recommended us to participate in club activities offered by Taiwan University. And I went to the Zen club, and it was very fun. I mean, it's just sitting, but that was the beauty of it. And I got to make some friends there, and I discovered how Chinese is different in the classroom and in real life, because that happens in language learning. So that might be something that would take a bit of courage to do, stepping outside of CGY. And eventually, after you gained enough confidence in CGY, in the language or in culture, or just in terms of getting around, you might want to start doing that. And I'm sure CGY would help you, but you'll still have to try. And so workload and that stepping out of the bubble part, those two things will be challenging, definitely. It was challenging for me, and it probably would be for you. So you might want to, I don't know, think about that a little bit. If you're up for the challenge, it's definitely, you should do it. And yeah, so that's basically all from me. At the end, I want to say I was very, very lucky to have the opportunity to attend CGY. And I personally see no reason to not go if you have the opportunity and you're very, very, very interested in Chinese culture, Chinese language. So I definitely recommend coming to this place. It's a very life-changing experience in some ways. Yeah. Thank you.